that's okay. And we appreciate Weave joining us here for this session. We've got Spencer on the line, Mike, Megan, and Wesley. And today they're going to talk to us about how to hire some amazing sales reps, and not just amazing sales reps, but a lot of sales reps. So with that, go ahead and take it away, you guys.
Perfect. Can you see my screen okay?
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
Perfect. And it's the Weave logo, right? Nothing personal? We're good? Okay.
Yep.
You're good.
Just learn through experience. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, AJ, for helping, and Luke helping us get this set up today. My name is Spencer Pingle over here at Weave. I'm the Director of Sales Development, and I'm joined by Mike, who's our sales recruiter. I've got Megan, who's our Director of Dental and Upsells Sales, and then I've got Wesley Tonga, who is in charge. He's our manager for our inbound sales and our upsell sales teams. So we're going to be pretty quick, and I'm going to pass it off to Megan after I'm done here in a little bit. But first, I wanted to talk. Megan's going to talk more about Weave. I wanted to dive in and just talk about the roles that we're hiring for, right? In preparation for this, one of the questions I actually got a couple times through emails is, hey, what are you guys hiring for? We get a lot. We're hiring for sales development representatives. We call them SDRs. We're also hiring for account executives, AEs, right? That's pretty common in the tech world, these two roles that we're hiring for. We're hiring for them now, and we hire for them a whole lot. To give you guys an idea of just the difference between the two, if you're unaware, SDRs, they are calling all of our different verticals. We're in medical, we're in dental, optometry, veterinarian, and even a bunch of new markets. They are calling those offices, trying to get appointments set up. And once they get those appointments set up, those product demonstrations, they send them over to our account executives who actually demo the product and get people signed up with Weave. To give you guys an idea of like what our sales development reps are making, they're making on average about 65 grand on the year. It's a great entry role company, or a great entry role to get into sales. We've got some making up obviously up to 90, 100K a year, but I'd say on average, we're about 65 grand on the year. But our goal with our SDRs, and a question that I would always ask if you are interviewing for an SDR role is, how can you help me become an account executive? Because our goal for each and every one of our SDRs is not to be an SDR for life, not to be an SDR for even 3 years. It's to progress them to be an account executive. And the reason why is that the opportunity in the account executive role, particularly at Weave, is so great. Meaning fully ramped year one as an account executive, on average, you're making about 130 grand. Year two, your OTE bumps up to about 180 grand. And then year three, you're looking at about 250 grand plus. And these aren't me like trying to sell you something that's not real, right? I think that we've all been told about jobs that make X number of dollars, and the number that you were given was like what the top person in the company's history ever made. That's not what this is. These are the averages. I mean, Megan's over our dental team, and she's got a team lead in year two who's going to make well over this. So the opportunity as an account executive is so great, which in turn makes the account, or what makes the opportunity as a sales development rep so great. So as you're looking for jobs, you know, even if it's not at Weave, right? And you're looking for an SDR role to get into sales, ask that question. Hey, what is your goal for me as an SDR, right? Is it to be an SDR for a long time, or how do you help me get promoted, right? Because the opportunity as an account executive, particularly here at Weave, is so great. So let's talk a little bit more about that SDR to AE pipeline that we make here at Weave. We believe in this so much that we actually don't hire an SDR. We don't hire an SDR unless we think they'd be a really good AE. That's how seriously we take it. The training that we put in place is geared at two things: helping people become great SDRs, so they're great at their jobs now, but also we want to train principals and sales principals in a way that help you become a great account executive. So we're not just going to give you a script and say, hey, go read this thing, go be a great SDR. We're going to teach you principles that actually help you become a great SDR and a great AE. And what we also tried to do is we tried to put progression to an AE in your own hands. And so what we have is we have performance-based tiers in the SDR role that you promote yourself through. meaning you hit certain metrics, you move up to the next tier, all the way up to the account executive level, right? And we want to put that in your hands as much as possible. Now, this number is something that we take a lot of pride in, right? Because you're probably asking the question like, yeah, I hear a lot of people say, hey, turn me into an AE. 55% of current Weave account executives were SDRs at Weave. And that number alone may not mean a whole lot to you, but I've been in organizations where this number is 20, like 20 to 30% is really common with what I've seen. A lot of people will talk the talk, but when it comes down to promoting SDRs, they'll go outside to go find people to be AEs, I should say. But we really walk the walk, right? 55% were SDRs at Weave. 53% of our sales leadership, and so I'm talking, director level, VP level, manager level, 53% of our sales leadership started out as SDRs at Weave. So again, our goal isn't, and this is why I say, hey, go ask that question if you're interviewing for an SDR. Like, what's your plan for me? Where do you see me being? Because we've got big dreams. We've got big things, not just dreams, but things that we make happen for our SDRs here at Weave. Another number that we're really proud of is 92%. 92% of our sales leadership were promoted into that role. That's something that we're proud of, and obviously it's something that we really make a focus, right? Is we believe that our SDR team is our farm system, our developmental team, not just for our account executives, but for leaders within the company. So again, I'm showing you all these numbers. I encourage you, even if, like, I think Weave's special. I know that there's a lot of other good companies other than Weave too. Ask these types of questions if you're interviewing for that SDR role. Even if you're interviewing for an account executive role, right? How many of your people are getting promoted to leadership? What's that look like? Because that's going to tell you what's really happening in the organization. Now, let me tell you a story about our good friend, Megan. And Megan Prince is going to speak to us here in just a minute. But Megan is a pretty good example. And there's actually a few people just like Megan who have experienced this same type of trajectory. Here she is accepting an award. I don't know what the award is, Megan, best leader in the world or something. I don't know what it is. But Megan started out in 2015 as an SDR at Weave. And what were you doing before, Megan? Summer sales or something? I don't remember.
I did door-to-door for 4 years.
Awesome. So she made the move from door to door to become an SDR. 2016, she became a junior account executive. 2017, she became an account executive. 2018, she became a team lead account executive. 2019, director of sales and dental. And then just this last year, director of dental sales and upsells. Again, you guys, like these are things that are at our core in our sales organization, is that when you become an SDR here at Weave, you're going to get a whole lot more than just being an SDR. There's a whole lot of opportunity and a lot of it's in your control. And that's why I wanted to highlight Megan. So it actually is a perfect segue for me to actually hand it over to Megan and talk a little bit more about what Weave is and what we do.
Hey, Spencer, really quick, if you don't mind me interjecting a couple questions here. Megan, awesome job. That's cool. Really good information about your career thus far. Christina Lee asks, what kind of skills do you find valuable for SDRs/AEs?
So like I mean, I could make a laundry list of things that would make somebody good at it, right? Negotiation skills, all these different things. But with the training that we have, we believe that if you got a really solid work, like if you work really hard, and I'm saying like, I mean, I've never in a job interview heard anybody say they don't work hard, right? Everybody says it, but if you've just got kind of a grinded out work ethic, and if you've got, we always encourage people to look at their role higher than it is, right? Like have a level of ownership that's higher than just an SDR, but it's like you're looking to build a career. Like those two things we've seen honestly be the catalyst for some of our best people, is that they just work really hard and that they've got a really solid like aim on where they want to go in their career.
Very cool. We've got several questions coming in, but I'll just do one more and then Megan will turn it over to you. What advice would you give to people without much experience in this field?
Yeah, we hire people that haven't had a lot of sales experience before. If you can highlight those two things that I mentioned, like if you can highlight, even if it's in school or athletics or something that you've accomplished, that you can work really, really hard to outperform people and to win, like we can teach you the sales part of it. And so it's important that we try to do attribute-based hiring more than just going off of some experience. But if you've got that attribute of like hard work, grind it out, something to prove, and you can highlight that on a resume, you got a good shot. We can train you the rest.
Very cool. Okay, great. You guys go ahead and carry on to the next portion.
All right.
Right. Thanks for the kind words and intro, Spencer. Just to give you guys a little bit of an idea on what Weave is, I'll just be showing you this quick clip. Spencer's going to hit play.
This is Max, and this is Weave, reminding your customers of their appointments so you don't have to spend hours on the phone while keeping Max on schedule. No matter where you are or what you're doing, customer communication is made easier than ever. Know exactly who's calling in and how to help them.
Hi, Trevor.
Giving customers a personalized experience. Keep your busy team in sync with Team Chat to meet customer needs faster and get more work done. Allow customers to pay their bill whenever and wherever is convenient for them, using text to pay. Turning happy customers into evangelists.
All right, what do you think?
Using Weave marketing to collect reviews and gain exposure. And now, handling all your payment processing so you can spend more time focused on what matters. This is Weave, the complete business toolbox.
All right, so to recap that, Weave is essentially the smartphone and complete business toolbox for small to medium businesses. Not only are we a phone system, but we also take care of texting, reviews, your payment processing, pretty much anything that a small to medium business would need. So with that being said, there's a huge need for it in today's world. And with that demand means that we're looking for talented individuals, such as everybody on this call. When it comes to our market that we're in, there's an incredible opportunity for growth. Currently, there are over 29 million small to medium businesses in the United States, and we have less than 0.0005% of the market. So scary thing is that we are just getting started. Just a little bit of background on our company. In 2018, we doubled our revenue with 100% growth. In 2019, we also ended up doubling our revenue with 100% growth. Towards the end of 2019, we got an evaluation for 970 million, nearing what's called a unicorn evaluation. So just shy of that $1 billion mark. You'll see I put a little baby Pegasus on the slide deck just because we're not quite there yet. Definitely wanting to get past that point. But that's the amazing thing about Weave is that our plan isn't to stop there. Our goal is to become a $100 billion company one day. And that's why we're here today. We need help growing the company. And so feel free just at the end of the call to reach out to Spencer, Wesley, and I when it comes to interest in growing your sales career. So with that being said, I'm just going to pass on over the time to Wesley, and he'll actually touch base on his personal experience at Weave.
Awesome. Thanks, Megan. So yeah, like Megan and Spencer talked about, we're growing at a company level and also on a personal level. And so I wanted to share my experience. So I'll start with my story. Out of college, I went to work for a company that was a lot like Uber, but for school districts. And I was in operations and would essentially go and start that company from the ground up in various locations, right? And so I did that for about 3 years and moved up into management, but I didn't really see it as a career. And so I started peeking over the fence. I went to college in Utah and most of my connections were out here. And so I reached out to my people here and was able to find a few things. I went and shadowed the top real estate agent in Utah. I met with the owners of several solar companies. I spoke with people in education, in finance, medical device sales, broadcasting, really any industry that you can think of. And I tried to identify companies whose morals and core beliefs aligned with mine, and then reach out to people that had the job descriptions or the job titles that I thought were interesting, and just see if they, if they liked it or if they hated their life, and how you can get into it, right? And so I ended up going with Weave, and at that point, basically restarted my career. I ended up taking a pretty significant pay cut in the short term to get into sales, but I wanted more control over my income by way of commission, and I wasn't really getting that in operations. And so, interestingly enough, I actually ended up making more in that first year than I would have had I stayed with that other company. So it wasn't too much of a setback. But with Weave's reputation and my network, within that first 4 or 5 months at Weave, I actually started getting offers for promotion to other companies with, the promise of more money or leadership opportunities or growth and things like that. But Weave has such an awesome product, and it's full of so many great people. And the opportunity was such that I felt like I should stick it out at Weave. And really that decision to stick it out has been the difference maker in my career thus far. I've been with Weave for about 2 years now. And so the people that I've seen that have struggled at, in their 30s or 40s are people that often didn't really get any specialized skill. They got like a year or two worth of experience at a dozen or so different companies, and they weren't able to advance in the way that they wanted to. And so from my estimation, a great professional career comes from working hard and being compensated, right? And so my advice to everybody on this call would be, wherever it is you choose to work, find a company that meshes with your core values, that will compensate you for your effort and has the opportunity that you're looking for. And that compensation can take many forms. Some people, it's important that they just make enough money to satisfy the demands outside of work, that they have enough to, take care of their hobbies and their lifestyle. Some people, it's the recognition at work and people appreciating your efforts. Sometimes it's the contribution to the community or your value to your customer and knowing that you're improving their quality of life. And the same goes for the opportunity aspect. That can take many forms as well. Excuse me. Sometimes what you're looking for, especially on the front end of your career, is like training and mentorship. Sometimes it's the opportunity for advancement and being able to move into leadership opportunities. And whatever it is that you're looking for, you got to make sure that whatever company that you're going to, they have what you're looking for and what you're going to be looking for in the next year to 5 years or whatever. Because all the good vibes and snacks and free stuff and swag will not keep a good rep at a place where there's no opportunity, right? And so when I was choosing a company, I looked for a mix of opportunity, compensation, and core beliefs, and I felt like Weave had a rare combination of that, because you'll find at a big company, there's tons of resources, right? There's softwares and hardwares and people and amenities, and roles are very clearly defined, right? At a startup, you find less resources often, but there's a lot more flexibility and a lot more variety in your work, and people are doing multiple jobs and filling gaps in the system, and it's exciting. And so whatever it is you're looking for, make sure that the company you go to, they have that. And so at Weave, it presented a unique opportunity for me because it had both. We had a ton of funding, but we also were growing so fast that it was still a startup atmosphere where I could reach into other teams and departments and influence decisions that could really affect the company as a whole, which is not something that most people that are with a company at a very, very basic level are able to do. And We've had that in spades for me. So I was really grateful for the opportunity to go there. And again, like Spencer talked about, there are a ton of amazing companies, especially in this valley, especially in Utah. So you got to find what you're looking for. And so if what I'm saying and my experience resonates with you, we would love to see you at Weave. We'll leave all our information and how to apply. I think Spencer, it's on the next slide on the account executive and sales development rep on how to apply to those specific positions. But just like Spencer was talking about, and I think a couple people have asked some questions about it, what we're looking for, like the first thing you need is a desire, and that desire to be great. And honestly, we teach you most of the rest of it. The experience is important and it will add to your value, but it's much harder to teach someone how to work hard and how to want it more. So I'll turn some time back over to Spencer or Megan or Mike to kind of go over that, and then we'll take some questions. Is that cool?
That works perfect. Thanks, you guys.
So thanks, Wesley. Do we want to go over some of the questions we got, or do we just want to talk about how to apply real quick?
Yeah, go ahead and talk about apply and or how to apply, and then we'll review some of the questions. Great job, you guys. And with 0.00005% of the market, sounds like there's a lot of room to grow, right, Megan?
Exactly.
How cool is that door thing? The door was just barely open. Yeah, you can apply at our career page, as you can see here, getweave.com/careers. That's obviously an easy spot, and look for those 2 roles there. Also, feel free to reach out to any of us individually too. Our emails are pretty simple. It's first name, period, last name at getweave.com. So I'm spencer.pingle@getweave.com. Find us on LinkedIn. We're happy to answer any questions there as well. Mike is our recruiter, obviously, so he'd be able to help you with the process. Any of us are willing to help, but that's where you can find our job page. So yeah, that's how you apply. And then there's a couple questions that I see here. Do you want me just to dive into them, AJ?
Yeah, go for it. Yep. If you see them, let's do it.
I'll hand this one off to Megan because she's probably sold more weave than most people in this world. All right. Megan, who are our biggest competitors and what sets us apart from our competitors?
I would say that's one of the unique things about Weave is we are an all-in-one complete business toolbox, so all-in-one platform for any business that is starting up, meaning we don't really have a direct competitor that takes care of phones, confirmation services, payments, texting reminders, recall reminders, all in one. So that's the incredible thing about Weave. If I were to say we had any sort of competitor, I would say think of any phone service provider. They would be considered a competitor of Weave since we do take over the current phone service of any small to medium business.
Good answer. I'm
Great.
sold. We got one question. What does it take to be hired for a management role? AJ, I don't know if I'm doing your job here. Sorry if I'm just
Go for it. You're great, Spencer.
going for it. Sorry.
Time check. We've got about 9 minutes.
Okay, perfect. What does it take to be hired for a management role? That's a good question. You probably looked at our slides and saw that 92% of our current leadership came from promotion within. So obviously, like there are outside hires that we make into management roles, and our culture is one of, we don't want to talk about it as much as we just want to show it, And so what does it take to get hired in a management role? The ability to show us that you've done some pretty elite things with teams that you ran before. If you're interested in a management role, come talk to us. Come talk to us and we'll see if you're a good fit for the management role. There are a lot of instances too where we talk to somebody for a management role and we just have really good internal candidates that have earned it as well. And sometimes the message to the external candidate is like, hey, come prove it here at Weave in another role. And if you can do it and you can prove it, you'll end up in a better spot. And we've seen that happen with a lot of different people where they come from a management role in another company, they come to Weave, they take a step back per se, in title, and they prove it. They come in and they kill it. And like I said, a lot of success at Weave is in your control. And so people end up a year down the road in much better spots than they were when they first talked to Weave. So if you're interested in a management spot, just come talk to us. We'd be happy to chat with you about it and see if you'd be a good fit for the team. So
Yeah, can I chime in on that?
You're good, Wesley. Go ahead.
Yeah, so as far as the management roles are concerned, I think it's done us a huge service to promote from within, because one of the hardest things to go through is a change in management, right? And our retention rate for our managers and our directors and our VPs and stuff like that is excellent. I've been able to come up and rise up through the ranks like I was talking about. I'm currently the manager over the inbound and the upsells SDR teams, and obviously I have no plan for leaving. I would imagine the people on this call don't either. And all the people that work at Weave in this capacity or in the sales team were promoted to the position that they're currently in. So that's something that's usually pretty rare as far as the tech space is concerned. And so for us to have the continuity that we're looking for, that's typically what we look for. It's not to say it doesn't happen because it's necessary at certain times, but that's what we look for. We look to promote from within.
Let's see. This one's for Mike. I got one for you. We have a couple people asking about working remote.
So, I mean, we are fully remote right now, but we're operating in a way that if you needed to go into the office tomorrow, we would have to have you here. So we don't, I mean, we do have some like maybe like in dev remote roles, but within sales, we're going to be staying, I mean, we'll be remote, like working from home. But you need to be in Utah and be able to go into the office if we were to start back up the next day or so. Does that answer the question? Help?
It's a great answer.
There you go.
I think that's all the questions that we've got. AJ, am I missing any?
Let's see. Remote, yeah, you got those questions. Management roles, we've already hit up on that one, so we're good. Yeah, I think, man, I think that covers it. I guess the last question I would have as the moderator is, what's the best or coolest thing you guys love about working for Weave? Why is Weave the best company on the planet?
I can start with that. Just, I mean, to echo what Megan said is just the opportunity here. Like again, going back to that 0.005 or whatever percent of the market gives us a huge opportunity to grow. And so, I mean, within the role I've been, I mean, it's a little bit different than sales, but there's just so much opportunity in every department because as we grow our market share, the company internally grows and everybody is putting in so much that it's an opportunity to really have your fingerprints all over a number of things that will hopefully last throughout the company, which is super exciting, very exciting.
Yeah, and I would echo that. So opportunity for growth, and then the people are the reason why I come to work every day. There's a quote that goes something along the lines of, you are who you spend the most time with when it comes to your top 5 people. And I would just say anybody on this call right now and my team, I would be lucky to spend time with them, meaning I reflect those attributes to myself. And so I would just say, yeah, once again, the people are incredible, and then the opportunity for growth.
I'll add one thing too. We always talk about culture, and that's kind of a word you hear a lot, you know, in the Valley, in the tech world. Well, the one thing I love about Weave's culture is it's the hardest working culture I've ever been a part of, right? Like everybody preaches it. There's a lot of great cultures, and all the perks and benefits and all that stuff is great. But one thing I love about Weave's culture is that it honestly, like, it pushes me to be my best self. Like if I am not my best one day, I feel out of place. Like it's just not tolerated in our culture. And it also makes it not for everybody, but I've loved just who I've become because I've just been pushed to be at my absolute best. So that's my favorite part about working at Weave.
Yeah, I would echo all of everything that everyone else has said. In addition to our leadership, we have excellent leadership starting at the top, you know, with Brandon Rodman, who is our founder. I think you would be hard pressed to find a group of leaders that care more about their people than the people that are at the top of our leadership. And I've been in a few different companies. I've seen a lot of different leaders in their different capacities. And I can truly say that I've never seen what I've seen here at Weave before.
Very cool. Well, Weave team, Spencer, Mike, Megan, Wesley, thanks so much for your time on the call today. Hopefully those that are tuning in have the information they need to go ahead and apply. Sounds like a great opportunity. On behalf of the Get Hired Summit team and Mentorly, thanks so much, you guys, for taking time out of your busy day to join us. Really, really appreciate it. Have a good one, okay?
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.